Hello and good morning to you all, Totally Beaders. I hope you're doing well today. I'm going to be making some lovely, bright, colourful, ready for summer jewellery. I'm going to be making some chokers with you today. So necklaces that sit quite closely around the neck. You can adapt this design if you would like it to sit more rounded. You will just need to adjust the beads, I think, a little bit just to get them to sit right. But we're going to make a choker today. We are going to add a little extender clasp to them, just using jump rings so you can create a comfortable fit. The average size of these necklaces, I think, work out about 15.5 inches and then just under 17 inches with an extended chain. And of course, you can extend that extended chain as well if you wish. And you could make it larger by just adding in more beads to suit you. So I've called these Oonagh. They are very lovely. I'm using some Cateye like cuboid beads, which are a really lovely shape. They've got a very gorgeous cat's eye effect to them. They have a lovely shimmer the way the light hits them, and they look very pretty. So I will take you over to the mat after I've been on the website, and I'll show you the kits today if you want to make along with me. We do have a multi-buy offer on, and I think, don't quote me, but I think each kit makes up 2 necklaces. So I'm just going to say a quick hello to everybody. Linda's in. She's in having a beautiful sunny day. A little bit breezy, but warm in Watford. It's lovely and sunny today. It's a really nice, bright day. Good morning to Barbara, who's in Florida. I hope you're well. Good morning to Carol. Hello to Rachel, who's in sunny Barrow. Jan's in a lovely sunny Sudbury. And Jackie saying good morning to everybody as well. I hope the sound is okay. Still getting a few feedback issues at the minute, but I'm hoping it's okay. I have managed to just kick my stand over. So I'm hoping the camera is playing ball. Of course, it's gone off already. So I will take you over to the website why I fixed that. Good morning to Sue. She says, hi everybody from damp Turkey. Golf cancelled due to a thunderstorm. Well, it's a day for staying in then instead, isn't it? So, right, let me take you over to the website. We are, of course, totallybeads.co.uk, and this is where you can find all of the makes and you can make along with us should you wish to. So head into the video tube section and scroll into what is today's Oonagh choker necklace. Let me just fight with my phone. So you can see we've got 4 really lovely colours for you to choose from today. We have a light green, we've got a peach, we've got turquoise, and we've got yellow. I'm going to end up with feedback, aren't I, at this point? Do please bear with me. Do I put my headphones in to stop it? Right. Hopefully that should prevent the feedback a little bit. Okay, so that's sounding awful, isn't it? Oh, do bear with me, I'm so sorry. I wish I could just pause the live, but it's the joy of a live, isn't it? Right. Let's see how that goes. Okay, so our beautiful necklaces for you today are in 4 lovely colours. They are, of course, make 2, and that is £8.99, but you can also buy 2 kits, and that is just £14. Let me just head quickly back into the comments, because I think can people get feedback? Can you hear that echo? So frustrating. Hello, Anastasia. I hope you're doing okay. Good morning to Edward. Hello to Mina. There's no Facebook Live. Right, okay, let me change that as well then. Oh, what a pickle. Sorry. Right. Let's see if we can bring our lovely Facebookers in and get the sound to play ball. I get it all ready for when I start, and then just does its own thing. Sounds okay, brilliant, okay. It's just me that's going to be distracted by the feedback then. It keeps hiring itself up no matter what I do. Let's go back onto the website. Mute. Okay. Yeah, you should be on Facebook. I just can't get the sound to go off. Anastasia said, Sue, we had thunderstorms on Monday. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. Okay, so the sound's okay for you. That's the main thing. Right, back over to the website we go. If you have a little look in the kits, we've got our light green. They are £8.99. It's making 2 necklaces up, and you can get 2 for £14. So you're getting these gorgeous cat's eye cuboid beads, which you can see here. They're like those long kind of rectangle shapes. We've got some gorgeous little dice cube spacer beads, which are 3mm in size. You're getting lots of jump rings, so you can make that extended chain. All of your findings in regards to your crimp beads, your carts, and your clasp, and your Tigertail wire. And we're also using some little glass pearl rounds, which are 3mm in size as well. So you can scroll down here and you can see that we are using the sea glass beads and the light green cat's eye beads with the silver. So your findings will be silver, and those little spaces will be silver as well. And I will, of course, show you those down on the mat. We also have this beautiful peach, and this is what I'm going to be demoing for you today. So we've got this lovely kind of orangey colour. So I'm using the beautiful bright tangerine in 3mm glass pearls and those gorgeous cat's eye beads. So it will just sit nice and flat against your neck, and they are very summery. This one is the turquoise. This is on the silver as well. So I'm using the iceberg and the aqua. It's very distracting. It's like I've got a little voice in my head, like a little echo, and it's my own voice. It's not nice listening to yourself back anyway, is it? This one's the yellow. Very, very sunshiny. Of course, it's on the gold. I'm using the golden haze and those lovely yellow cuboids. So your cuboids are 12 by 4mm in size. Your golden haze is 3mm, which is your glass pearl rounds. And then your gold or silver plated spacers are like little dices, and they're 3mm in size as well. So they're your 4 gorgeous colours to have a little look from. Let me know in the comments. Have you ever worn a choker before? Is it something, well, it kind of reminds me of being a bit younger, to be honest, but they are coming very much back into fashion, as most things do. So let me stop sharing that one, and hopefully when I bring up my mat we won't have feedback. Please let me know, does the sound okay for you? Is it just me that's being very distracted? I'm glad you're all saying so far so good. Joanne is saying good morning to everyone. She's in a very sunny, lovely day in Coventry. Good morning to Yolanda. Happy Wednesday to you. Rachel saying she loves cat's eye beads. So a cat's eye bead, it has like a chatoyancy in it. Usually when you've got that rounded shaped bead, the light bounces off the top surface. Come on, camera. Play along. And it just gives a really lovely finish and vibrancy to them. If you don't want to wear these close around your neck, you can, of course, make them sit slightly differently. What I would do is I would use less beads on the top and longer on the bottom, and that will give it a natural curve. These are going to just sit straight, so they will sit across your neckline if you do them this way. But of course, you can always add that little extender on by just adding some jump rings, and that way you can extend the length to fit comfortably if you don't want it too close. But if we were having it as it is, you'll notice that these kind of sit on the side. So again, if you wanted, you don't have to double up the tiger tail like I'm doing. You could just add one row of the beads in, and then it would look more like that. So you're not getting those little oval rounded shapes. You've just got it straight and strong, and that will sound really good. Sorry, reading Linda's comment sounds really good. That will look really good as well. So this is the beautiful zesty orange. I'm hoping my camera will be playing ball with me today, because I'll be honest, I've had enough. I don't know what it is. I got new headphones and now it's all just meh. The wonders of technology, eh? So that one is your orange. This is your gorgeous, lovely, bright yellow colour. Is quite dark in here because I haven't got the light bouncing down on the mat. So the light will bounce off it and it will give that lovely bright effect. This one is your sea glass and your mint. And then we have this beautiful blue coloured one as well. So of course the colour of your cat's eye beads and your pearls and your findings will change depending on which you want. So the blue and the green coloured ones are both on the silver, and then I'm going with those lovely warm sunny tones of the yellow and the orange with the gold. So all I'm going to do, if you want this design, of course you can adapt it. As I say, you don't have to use two pieces to make those O shapes. You can just do straight stringing with it. You could also change the amount that you've got here just to give it that kind of graduated curve if you want it to sit like a normal necklace would. But if we are making like this, it's going to sit nice and flat. So if I bring up my face again, it would sit along the neck facing that way. That makes sense to you. Okay, so to start, I'm going to take two lengths of my tiger tail. I'm taking 45 centimetres each, so I'm taking two strands. That's about 18 inches. And I'm just going to line up my tiger tail pieces together and add on my findings. So I'm going to need my culottes and my crimp beads. Tiger tail is a little bit curly, but I'm sure we can work with that. So I'm just going to take the two ends together. Anastasia says, I love a choker. The square beads are so cute and different. So these are your little spacers too. And they are little cubes with like little rounded edges to them. So take your culotte and pop that over both ends of your tiger tail. And then we're going to take out two crimp beads. Now I'm going to slide my crimp beads onto both ends of the tiger tail as well. You can stagger it if it's a little bit easier for you. So you don't have to have those two ends fully lined up. If you stagger it slightly, you can get them on. And then you can push them down together. Using a pair of pliers or a crimper, I'm just going to flatten down my crimp beads. So slide it right up to the end. And then if you have any tiger tail sticking out, you can always just cut that off. So we're going to bring the culotte up. Oh, it is starting to give me a little echo. And we're going to just close that over with our fingers. Get those little bits lined up at the end. And close down. So we've got that lovely loop. Hello Elaine, how are you doing? Okay, we're going to start with one of those lovely little cubes. So I'm going to take my spacer, I'm going to thread it onto both ends of the tiger tail, and I'm going to push that up just towards the culotte. I'm then going to take out my beads and I'm going to open up my ends of tiger tail. So I'm now working off each side, and I've decided for the shape of mine, I'm going to add 6 of my 3mm pearls onto each side. So I'm just going to open up my strand, and I'm going to take the end of one, and I'm going to add 6 of those on. I'm then going to take the other tail end and I'm going to add 6 onto that side as well. So I've got 6 on one side and 6 on the other. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take another one of my spacer beads, one of these little cubes. I'm going to use, I think, 20 of these in this design, and that's going to create 10 little loops. But they're not making that oval just yet. What you're going to do is you're going to gently pull on each side, and that's going to create that lovely rounded shape. Thank you, Linda. She says these are beautiful. I'm then going to take my cat's eye cuboid and I'm sliding that over both. So my spacer's going onto both, and the cat's eye bead always goes onto both, but the pearls will go on each length of tiger tail. And then again, just give it a gentle little pull, and that's going to create that lovely little O shape. The tiger tail's really strong, so I can afford to, give that a good tug, and it's not going to break. I was doing a project yesterday, and I was using beading thread. I wasn't using fire line or anything. I was just using like a S-lon, I think. And I'd only done a few little repetitions of my design, and my thread broke, and I was like, oh, I'm going to have to work in another thread. And then I thought, I'm going to just change up what I'm using. With tiger tail, they are coated wire in a nylon, lots of very fine wires together, so it gives it that strength and that durability. So every time I pop my cat's eye bead on, I'm going to make sure that there is a spacer little cube either side of it. So the cubes and the cat's eye beads will always go on both ends of the tiger tail, and the pearls will go on each. And I'm just going to use another 6 on each side. So you can pick up your beads one by one. Or you can transfer them from the tiger tail off the strand directly onto the tiger tail. And I'll show you how to do it that way on the next one. But it doesn't take very long to make. I think it'd be about 20 minutes in total. So just making sure you've got 6 beads on. And that will open up that loop. So if you want to transfer it from one to the other, just going to line up your thread through the first bead and then just push them on. but you're only popping 6 on, so it doesn't take that long. So 6 beads onto both sides, bringing both tail ends back together, adding on the spacer onto both and sliding that down, and then again gentle pull just to position and make those little loops. Anastasia says, Natalie, I put you on my TV. You look much better and clearer and much closer. It's 55 inches. The beads are beautiful. I can't wait to see them in person. Thanks, Anastasia. I'm on the big screen, am I? It's been a long time since I've been on the big screen. Did used to work on some film things a long time ago, so I've actually seen my big ugly mug on an actual big cinema screen, which was very weird. You do see me sometimes on the telly. I'll be on the telly next weekend. Linda says, if I were to make a longer necklace, how many beads would I need to leave off to make it longer, to make it flat? Well, you can add on, in these strands, I think you get at least 130 beads on your strand. Sometimes you will get a little bit more, depending on the strand that you get. So I've done 10 loops on this one. If you wanted to get it to have a curve, I would probably just try it, Linda, where I think if this is what you're referring to, where you want it to sit like this, I'd possibly still put the 6 on the bottom and maybe just trial and error it, maybe 4 or maybe 5 on top, a little bit shorter, and then it should give you more of a curve because the top will draw in a little bit more, if that's what you mean. Or you can just use one piece of Tigertail and then just put you'll have one row, and then you can just put your beads on and your spacers as normal, but then of course that you're ignoring these bits, and that will give it its gradual curve as well. And so you could wear that as like a normal style necklace rather than a choker. You can do lots of designs with them. They're just really pretty beads to use. So I tend to make 10 of these little loops, and then you'll have plenty enough. But if you wanted to do 11, you could do 11. Of course, you're getting enough to make 2 necklaces in your kit, so you've probably got plenty to play about with. I think your strand of cat's eye beads is very long. Whether you'll get 2 strands of pearls, I'd imagine, in your kit, that would mean that you've got enough to make 2 necklaces. And of course, we've got the offer on as well if you want to buy 2 kits. So if you wanted to mix up the colours, I think this orange would look gorgeous with both the blue or the green. And I'll show you those colours again down on the mat so you can have a little look how they pair. So you might want to pop in, maybe you want to get the yellow and the orange, and you might want to put the yellow coloured, these golden haze pearls in with these, and then the orange cat's eyes would look lovely. Or you might want to use some greens and oranges, they'd look beautiful together. That would be a beautiful contrast as well. You can always add in extra strands of your cat's eye beads. If you wanted to do a mix and a multicoloured one, you could as well. It's just nice to play with something a little bit different. So let me check, I've got 6 pearls on each side. Now what I do is when I'm popping on my spacer cube onto both ends, I give it a little pull as I go, because as I'm starting to put the cat's eye beads on, if I don't give it a little pull, I won't get that full shape, and it'll just sit not as close as I'd like it. So I'm trying to get that kind of oval with each of them to be fairly similar. You can, of course, give it a little push, a little bit of pressure between your finger and your thumb just to open it out as well. And then once I've popped the cat's eye bead on, which again goes onto both, I'll just check it's still got that lovely oval shape before popping my other cube spacer. So I'm always alternating. The cube spacers will always go either side of those beads and also either side of the cat's eye bead. So both sides of your pearl will have the spacer on and the cat's eye bead will too. Just give it a little pull, check it's sitting straight, and then continue with that. It's not a complicated pattern at all. Again, of course, you can always change it up and do whatever you like with it. Good morning, Anna. She's having a sunny day in Perth. It seems to me like the sun's out everywhere, providing it's daytime where you are, which is lovely. I got a bit of washing to do. I should have put it out on the line this morning, but I haven't got round to it as of yet. But that's what I'm going to do this afternoon, making and tidying. Such an exciting life. What are you doing with your day today? Have you got anything nice planned? Have you been working on any projects or kits lately? Have you been making any totally beads makes? Are you doing any different crafts? I like to hear what you're up to because I'm nosy. So making sure I've got 6 pearls on each side. Making sure my cube spacer is going over both of them. Give it a little pull. Make that little O shape. And they're always going to roughly be, the same size loop because you're using the same amount of beads. And as you pull it up, you'll notice that that pearl sits nice and snugly to the spacer as well. Both ends together. Slide the cat's eye bead on. So a lovely large drill hole in there. Ooh, gardening is top of my list. Not my favourite, but needs must. Yeah, I need to do my garden too. I've got a lovely tree in the front, a laburnum, and the ivy's just completely taken over it. So I don't think it's quite gone, but it's not flowering because the ivy's that bad. I mean, it's still green. It's just not got those lovely yellow flowers that it usually does. And we have tried to take it off. But, when ivy takes hold, it just does, doesn't it? So it's a big job. It's a big job I don't think I can do on my own. It's a big job I don't want to do on my own. Hello, Tutu. Long time no see. How are you doing, my love? Anastasia's saying, will it be best to put this on a clipboard or clips to hold it much better? You could do if you want to. I've got a make coming up. I think I've scheduled it for the end of this month. And I'm doing chainmail, but I am going to be using my macrame board at the end just because I find it so much easier to pin it to that when I'm making it. This I think I'm okay with, but whatever works best for you. Thanks, Anastasia. Just hit the like button. Yeah, you're not pressured to subscribe. You can do if you want to. It does help. I also find as well, if you're wanting to go back for a project, save it. Just save it. So whether you're watching it on Facebook or you're watching it on YouTube, you can create yourself a playlist on YouTube. But if you just save the video, then you can go back and you can find it quicker. Because I'll be honest, I don't even remember what I've called them. So this is the Oonagh choker necklace. Can't really remember why I called it Oonagh. I think it's because these were looking like little O's, little O shapes. And Oonagh is spelt with a double O, Oonagh. I think it's an Irish name. So I'm just alternating, really straightforward, between my lovely beads. They're just summery. They just look like summer to me. Making sure that I've pulled them nicely, because they will get taut and you won't really be able to go back. You'd have to loosen them up as you go. And then 6 beads onto each one. I tend to just position them between my finger and my thumb. Slide them off. And then if I've got enough pressure on the beads, the drill hole should be all lined up that I can just slide them on. And I think that sometimes speeds me up. So I count my 6 beads, position them between my thumb and my finger, keep them a little bit of pressure on them so they should all stay in place. Work sometimes, not all. It's not working this time. Oh yeah, it is. And then I'm just threading that tiger tail through. And then that's a quick way of putting the beads on. So the beads are going on both sides of the tiger tail, 6 on each side. Spacer bead. And before I put the cat's eye bead on, I'm just going to gently pull on one and gently pull on the other, and that should give me my O shape and kind of hold them in place. Cat's eye bead. Give it another little check. Again, if you want to, you can just push between your thumb and finger just to open them out, making sure there's a good tension between them, there's no gaps. And then back on with a spacer bead. Spacers going on both of them as well. And then I'll be separating out those lengths of tiger tail. Six beads onto one side and 6 onto the other. Bringing both ends back together so I can add on a lovely cube spacer. Gentle pull on each end to create that little oval shape. I like the contrast between the shapes as well, so we've got the kind of roundness of the corners of those spacer cubes, which kind of echo the long shape of my cat's eye cuboids and the roundness of my 3mm glass pearls. So I'm not going to do much more of this because it's pretty much the same as I go. Tiger tail onto both. Cube onto both pieces of tiger tail. Always making sure I do my spacer. I did make one and noticed I missed a spacer. Now I was like, I can't leave it. I'm going to have to go back and redo it. Didn't take me very long. As I say, these probably take about 20 minutes in total. Anastasia says, Natalie, I've started from the first time Totally Beads came on YouTube. You ladies are amazing. Such a lot of stuff that was made when you can't find one that Kitty did. I can't find the storage. You don't need to save them to your phone. You can save them if you're watching on YouTube, aren't you? So you can You can like the videos and you can save it to your playlist, all of the ones that I've done. And I wasn't here at the very, very, very beginning. I wasn't here during lockdown. But for the last 4 years, I have, before I started streaming them onto my YouTube channel, I did create playlists. So if you go onto mine, which is Natalie Patton, I think it's just called Natalie Patton Jewellery, and I think the jewellery is spelt the English way of spelling jewellery. I've created little playlists, so it should say like wire makes or necklaces or bracelets. I've even put like little themes on there as well, and of course you can watch them all back on the Totally Beads website, so you can search by kind, so you can search like, I know I want to make a bracelet or a necklace, or you can search by bead. It's very clever. I like the way that's organised. So I might think, right, I've got these gorgeous cat's eye beads, what can I do with them? And you can search. And sometimes we'll also have like a product description, so you can click on the product and see what things have been made with them as well. I don't think we do that for the pearls, because I use glass pearls quite a lot because I love the versatility of the size and the range of colours that Totally Beads have. So it might actually have them on. It might have specific colours rather than the sizes, but you can go back and you can see. Oh, I get you. She says it's a storage container, but I've got all the findings in it. And the other one, yeah, one of the top tips, I can't remember who suggested it originally, but they said if you do get your Totally Beads makes, write the name of the project on like the little baggie it comes in, just so you can go back and find the video. So if you're thinking, I'll get one of these and I'll get it in this colour and that colour, just write Oonagh choker necklace or something on the bag. And then if you don't get round to it, as I know we're all a bit guilty of, you remember what you were inspired to do first time round. It is, Anastasia, 10:39, nearly 20 to 11 UK time. Our clocks went forward on Sunday. So they went forward on Mother's Day, which was lovely. We lost an hour in bed, so you didn't get that extra lie-in. I have been having a little conversation actually with people who are in America, because Americans celebrate Mother's Day on the 11th of May. Where here in the UK, Mother's Day changes date. It's meant to be the 4th Sunday of Lent. So originally, I think, a little random fact for you. You get random facts and jewellery here with me. It used to be, it wasn't necessarily about mothers. It would be that you would go and worship in your mother church, or like where you were christened, on the 4th Sunday in Lent. So if you were like a servant, like a worker, you would go back and visit your like family church, and therefore visit your family. So I don't think it necessarily had it. Mothering Sunday wasn't necessarily about mothers, but then, like most things, we adapt it, and I think we all agree most mums deserve to be celebrated every day, let alone once a year. So yeah, the clocks went back on went forward on Mother's Day, which was means we're getting lighter evenings, which is nice. Okay, so I'm getting to my last one now. I've popped my last lovely cat's eye bead and my spacer on, and I'm going to finish off with 6 of my pearls as usual. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and again on the other side. So you can see if I'm doing 10 loops, which I think I've got here, I should have pulled that one a little bit better. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This will be my 10th loop. You can see this is how many beads I've got left on my strand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I could, with this colourway, make that extra loop. because I just need another 6 beads if I wanted to. But I'm going to keep this for this size. So with about 10 loops, it should be about 15.5 inches in length. And then you can add your extender chain on to take that up to 17 inches or however you prefer. So when I get to the last one, I'm just going to add on my spacer cube as usual. And I'm going to give it a push down again as usual, so pulling those ends. I'm going to cast my eye over the whole necklace and check that I'm happy with the shape of my little O's. If I need to loosen anything up, I'm going to make sure that I've put all my spacers on and I've not missed any out. And then I'm just checking when I pull, if I hold this up, when I pull on those ends of Tigertail, I want to make sure that they butt up nice and closely to the spacer there. Oh, Jen says I made one of the Titania charm bracelets the other day. I made one. I made something similar yesterday. I had a couple of charms left over. So do you know, we've got, I'm just going to tell you because she's lovely. So we've got, they did a thing in my son's school where we got, there was like an Easter egg raffle. So we all donated Easter egg and then we all bought raffle tickets, and then the children got called out if their ticket was picked. And my little boy didn't get his ticket number picked because that's just the way life is. And he was really, really upset because that's just how he is. He's quite emotional. And a lovely little girl in his class had won multiple Easter eggs, and she gave him one, which was just so kind of her. So I made her a little bracelet up last night to say thank you for being kind. Because I don't think you should do nice things to be rewarded, but I do think kindness should be rewarded in some way, whether it be good karma or just, it was a little thank you from us. So I've made her one of those. Anastasia says, so Mother's Day was last week in the UK. It is here in May. She's got a lot of jewellery to make. If I make something for one lady, I have to make it for them all. Yeah, well, it's always nice to have birthday presents available, isn't it? Right, okay, I've added my spacer on. I've made my little loop. I've given it a little pull. I'm going to take my culotte and thread my Tigertail, both pieces, through that culotte. Again, I'm just going to make sure that I'm happy with the positioning on that loop before I pop my crimp beads on, because once my crimp beads on, they are in place. So you can see I've got quite a bit Tigertail left here as well. Always think it's worth having more than having less, because you can always cut it off, but you can't really add it on. I'm going to just check that loop again. There you go. I'm going to get my crimp bead right up inside of that culotte, and with my pliers I'm going to add a little bit of pressure just to flatten it down. And then I'm going to take my other crimp bead, because it's good to double crimp. I always double up in your kits so you've got that extra durability. So if one was to fail, the other one shouldn't, and you should be good to go. So I'm just going to get rid of these bits for now because they're very long. So I'm adding on the other crimp bead and I'm letting that fall right down on top of the last one. And I'm just giving it a little squish to flatten. And then trimming off the excess Tigertail nice and close, making sure I'm not getting the crimp bead, just the Tigertail. And I'll fold over my culotte, lining it up with my fingers first, and then a little bit of pressure with my chain nose pliers just to close it fully. Right. Then to make it a little bit longer, what I'm going to do is when I add my lobster clasp on, on the other end, I'm going to make a little extender chain. So I'm going to add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 onto one side, and my 10th will go on the other. So I'm going to take 2 pairs of pliers, and I'm going to give my jump ring a little turn towards me, just to open. I'm going to hook that through the culotte, so the loop's on the end, and then add on my lobster clasp, and then give it a little wiggle, making sure they're nicely aligned. And then on the other side, on the other end, I'm going to take my jump ring, open it up, and slide that through. Now, if you've got an extender chain, you can add that on, of course, if you want to. If you haven't, you can make one. All you need to do is just open up your jump rings and create a little chain by attaching those jump rings on together. I'm just going to make sure that one's closed nicely. So I'm taking the point of the jump rings, you can see they're not quite lined up. So give it a little turn to open, attach it onto the last one, and then close it back up. And this is just a way of making yourself a little chain, which means you can adjust where you position your clasp. So if you are making as a gift, or you're not quite sure the size in which you'd like to have this fit comfortably around your neck, because that's the thing with chokers, I think you either do like it tight around your neck or you don't, and this will give you the option to make sure it's not too tight and it fits comfortably. So you don't have to make the chain particularly long, but I'm using in your kit today, you'll get 6x1 outer diameter size jump rings, which means it's made from 1mm wire or 18 gauge wire. So they're nice and sturdy. I just want to make sure that they're closed properly. So I tend to open it up a little bit, attach it on, and then to close, I'm just taking my dominant hand, I'm just making sure they're nicely lined up. And then you've got that little bit of an extender chain, so you can attach your lobster clasp right up next to the culotte, or if you want to make it a little bit wider, you've got the same pattern running through your necklace here, so you're not having to worry about what's dead center. So even if you were to attach at the very, very end, you've still got those same motifs running through. Rachel says, very pretty. Thank you, Natalie. Thank you very much. I will quickly run back through, because I know I was very distracted at the beginning of the live with the colours and the product information. So these are the Oonagh choker necklaces. We've got 4 lovely colours for you today. This one is the turquoise, and it is using the beautiful aqua coloured cuboids, which are 12x4mm. I'm using iceberg 3mm glass pearl round beads, and then you've got these lovely little silver cubed spaces, which are 3mm in size. Your kits today are all £8.99, which makes up 2 necklaces, and we do ship worldwide if you need to change your currency, but you can get any 2 for £14 as well. So if you wanted to mix up, you could add that beautiful peach colour with that gorgeous turquoisey blue. I think that would look lovely. We've also got this gorgeous one here, which is yellow, and I think that would look particularly nice together. I'm loving this like green colour. I think they'd look quite nice, but actually, or you could really go to town and you could use a mix of your cat's eye beads, and you could mix up your pearls. You could do whatever you want to do today. So they are the Oonagh choker necklaces. I'm going to remove that. Still hear myself? Not as much. Jan says, thank you, very pretty. Thank you very much. Joanne says, thank you, Natalie. Gorgeous necklace, lovely spring colours. I'll just hold one up to my neck so you can get the idea. So they would sit flat like this, but you could, of course, just make them to sit like a normal necklace shape, like that. You don't have to have them as a choker if you don't want to. Just thought it might be nice to do something a little bit different. Tutu says, lovely. It's been lovely to see your name. I've not seen you for ages. I hope you're well. Lisa says, a very cute make. Thank you so much. I'm just checking. I don't think I've missed any questions. If I have missed any questions, do let me know. We've started talking random facts, haven't we? So if you've got any random facts, do let me know, because I love to hear them. Rachel says, in our church on Mother's Day, gifts are given out not just to the mothers, but to every lady there. Oh, that's nice, isn't it? Right. Thank you so much for being with me today. I'm going to be back with you on Monday and making, or don't know, because we've swapped a few little bits round, because I was planning on doing something. Oh, I know what I'm doing. I'm doing some bracelets with you, I think, using some kind of like rat tail cord. I'm guessing that's what we've changed it up to. My list off on Friday, going to be on. So at the minute, but I'm hoping if I might have with like geography and dinosaurs, and then I give you random facts myself, like mother like son. Okay, my lovelies, have a gorgeous day, have a lovely weekend. If the weather's nice, get out in the garden. I can hear next door starting to mow the lawn.